Jason, what are your thoughts about how it all started? Because it's unusual, right? I mean, we're in a new world now where there's a lot of things that float either online, but this, through television. It was a television series that got everyone involved here and kind of, reinvigorated this investigation.
Well, it's very disturbing, first of all. And I believe this started back when the docuseries Making a Murderer came out. Hundreds of thousands of Americans, maybe millions of Americans, watched that docuseries. It was difficult to go to sleep without watching the entire program. But it was based on a trial that took place that involved Brendan Dassey and another defendant. And after it was over with, other people started being investigated who were involved in the docuseries. So here we have another docuseries. Prosecutors are looking at what's happening here. What do we have as far as potential crimes that could have happened? And that's fine when you have somebody who makes a true outcry, who goes to law enforcement, goes to
but
the
here
DA's
they're
office.
solicited. How unusual is that? Have you ever, either one of you ever seen this before, where a prosecutor has gone out and say, hey, if there's victims out there, please come forward? Victims to a crime that hasn't been charged yet.
That's the most disturbing part about it, is you're almost inviting people and asking them to become victims. And of course, you're going to have, I'm not surprised.
Does that become part of the trial? Does that become part of, is it cross-examination? Is it, how do you make that part of the trial, the fact that it all starts from a series on life? Yeah, and Jason, the Winslow case that we're covering now, all 5 Jane Does, one trial. It's the way the judge made the call and the way the law is in California. Stephen Greenberg, when he was here, believes he can get separate trials here. That, to me, that's really the key to the whole thing here, right?
It is. For a trial to be severed, whether it's counts or defendants, is a rare thing, particularly in Georgia, because if you've got, let's say, 5 counts, you've got 5 separate trials. Same thing with the defendants, even though that doesn't apply here. So you're not just going through one trial, you've got to go through all of them. And when it comes to judicial efficiency, some would argue that's about as inefficient as it can get, but it's just.
And a lot of times, no body, a lot of people believe, how can you prove a murder? Can they?
You can by circumstantial evidence. Here, the girlfriend's made a statement that she saw the body being burned on a makeshift funeral pyre. Now, they haven't found where that funeral pyre is, but she is cooperating with law enforcement, and there's a chance that they will be able to find that body. It's my understanding they're still searching for it with her assistance.
So, Jason, what does the defense do? Does the defense then stuck with just pointing the finger at the nurse and saying she's the one that did it, or do they say this murder never took place?
Well, you got to pick one of the two. You can't use the shotgun approach. So the most reasonable explanation would be that this murder didn't take place. You don't have a body. The person is missing. They are a missing person at this point. This is not a murder case. And you have the girlfriend who's making these statements that do not add up, as you just mentioned. They can't find anything that she talks about. So you focus on nobody.